As part of activities marking this year International World Development and Information Day, the International Association of Youth and Students for Peace Nigerian chapter organized a digital conference for youth and other participants across the world. President of the association Nigerian chapter, Raphael Ekpo, in his welcome remark, commended the youth for their peaceful protest to push for better lives for Nigerians and to end police brutality. He also condemned the looting and destruction by some hoodlums who are not members of the peaceful protesters but hide under the guise of the ongoing protest to cause mayhem.
End SARS. Why are we protesting to end SARS? Because SARS has become a menace to our society. And at the same time, we, the youth who are protesting to end such, should not become a menace to the same society we are preaching or we are protesting to become a peaceful society. At this point, that is why we want to call on the media and all peace-loving Nigeria to join us to speak in strongest voice to the Nigerian youth or the people who are causing mayhem to our nation. This is not the vision that the youth envision to go on the streets to protest. This is not why we want to protest to bring about a great nation. So instead of us to become part and parcel of those who are creating havoc to our society, we are bringing about youth who can speak in strong voice this afternoon to encourage other young Nigerians to become a builder of the nation and not those youth who constitute destruction of lives and property of our nation. I want to urge all of us today that as we are part and parcel of this program, please let us join with an open mind, because the lectures and discussion that's going to go on today is going to be thought-provoking. Why? Because it's going to reveal to us and then reintroduce to us the new direction with which our nation is going to take.
In a keynote address, International President of the Association, Koji Matsuda, called on the youth to be agents of change wherever they find themselves.
If the whole of humanity has this same vision and goals as one global family, we could stop wars and solve racial conflicts and solve climate change. The mission of YSP is to advance world peace by empowering youth and students to become global citizens through character education and peace projects supporting the UN SDGs. In our mission statement, YSP includes SDGs because it is utmost to support SDGs and UN for world peace. The initials of the YSP core values spell the word RISE: responsibility, integrity, service, and empathy. To become good leaders and global citizens, we emphasize the practice of these values. These values are the opposite way of self-centered thinking. I believe that if many young people in Nigeria practice these values in daily life, the nation become better and develop and contribute to solving problems in your country. We are promoting programs for youth and students where they studied SDGs and create projects to support SDGs in the Peace Designer Seminar. We call these projects supporting SDGs the Peace Projects. Participants present the project they created in the Synergy contest by introducing their thoughts and the solutions about the specific problem they find in society. In Nigeria and African countries, youth is especially important because the rate of young people in the population is very high. If you have an honest mindset and concern about how to support the community, schools, nation, and world, you can become bright leaders for this nation and world. To end my speech, I will quote the message of two peacemakers. Mahatma Gandhi said, "If you want to change the world, you should be a person starting the change." Mother Moon said in her autobiography, "Those who have a challenging spirit are true youth. Public goal setting can overcome the difficulties and temptation for youth. Everything starts with me and small actions. Peace starts with me and from us. The youth engagement is important for the sustainable development of the nation and the world. Today and here is the new start. I hope this conference gives energy to all the participants and help the youth to engage in the local, national, and the global action. Let us work together and cooperate by helping each other to build a more peaceful nation, peaceful Nigeria, and the world. May God bless Nigeria and all of you who participate in this assembly. Thank you for listening.
Other speakers at the digital conference highlighted key roles youth play in any society. They also called for unity among youths and as human beings created in the image and likeness of God, irrespective of religion, race, tribe, color, gender, or nationality.
We are all aware the world is facing several challenges at this time. We have just, I don't know whether we have come out already from the COVID-19 challenges. Now we are faced again with end SARS, end police brutality, end corruption. In fact, we are now in the end times because everything now is end this or end that. So from one issue to another, we are experiencing several challenges as a nation. And these challenges seem as if they cannot be solved. Truly, this is an era of national challenges. But the fundamental question I think we should ask ourselves is this how nations were supposed to be? Is this the way nations are supposed to be? Or there is something that is missing? If we understand this very clearly, you will agree with me that for us to be able to understand what the situation we are facing in the world today, if this is the way our world is supposed to be, then we need to ask some fundamental questions. What is the ideal nature of a nation? How is a nation supposed to be? What are the fundamental principles that governs the creation of a nation? How were nations supposed to be created? How was our nation created? How have we managed this nation that have been created? Yeah, without understanding those principles of creation of a nation, we may not be able to resolve the challenges we are facing, and we cannot clearly imagine what our future may be like. The resources in our country, we don't have a proper policy of management of our resources. There are all conflicting policies on how resources found in the environment called Nigeria should be managed. So this is far from the ideal. So when we examine our nation and the world today, the reality and the ideal are different. For example, Nigeria is a multi-religious nation. We have Muslims, we have Christians, we have traditionalists who are not working together. We are multi-ethnic. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Ibibio, Yala, Idoma, Efik, and all of these who are not working together. These ethnic groups have become points of identity instead of administrative units. We have multi-resources, but these resources are not used for the common good of all. So this is a fundamental problem our nation has been, the characteristics of our nation. So our task today is that how do we manage this multi-religious nation, multi-ethnic nation, and multi-resourceful nation? This is a task that we have been asked that's before us. And this, the religion, the ethnic group, and the resources management are all in conflict. So we need to harmonize them. So when we look at the overview of the history of our nation, you will find a very interesting history. From the naming of the nation by Flora Shaw, the lady who became a wife of Lord Lugard, in about 1899 to 1919, there was so much effort made to form the Nigerian nation by the British. Unfortunately, the British could not deliver on the expectation of creating a national culture, of creating a national community, and putting in place policies for utilization of our resources for the benefit of all the citizens. Between 1899 and 1919, which was a 20-year period, what was achieved was the amalgamation of Nigeria, the bringing together of the North and South. when Islam and Christianity are not together, when the African traditional religion with Christianity are not together. But the people were brought together, the bodies were brought together while their mind was in conflict. So in a way, we had a faulty Nigeria formed. Between 1919 and 1939, there were efforts to grow the Nigerian nation. Yet, this was faced with challenges. People were campaigning against the 1914 amalgamated Nigeria, that they want to make sure Nigeria is not amalgamated. Nigeria should be regionalized. And then when you check again, the next 20 years, from 1939 to 1959, that was a collapse of the amalgamated Nigeria into regions, what they call the North, East, and West regions. There was no clear South region. When you study the divine principle, you know that the basic, what we call the divine principle, the four position foundation, or in science, the four cardinal points, would have been the North, South, East, and West. But in creating the Nigerian nation, we had the North and the West and East without the South. And whenever you question the issue of where is the southern part of Nigeria, where is the southern part of Nigeria, the answer you get is East and West is equal to South. It's only in Nigeria you hear this kind of geography. So we have a faulty nation. And within 60 years, from 1899 to 1959, the British could not leave behind a sustainable nation. They left behind a nation divided within itself, divided along lines of religion, divided along lines of regions and ethnic groups, and divided along resources. This is the situation we found ourselves. And from 1959, a new Nigeria was supposed to begin, centering on the Nigerians, the independence of Nigeria, which was proclaimed in 1960 eventually. Within this time again, as you can see, from 1959 to 1979, 1979 to 1999, and 1999 to 2019, Nigerians themselves have another 60 years of opportunity to be able to recreate their nation. Yet we could not promote religious harmony. We have not been able to promote regional integration. We are not able to develop the resources for the benefit of everybody.
The youth of our nation, for the first time in the history of this country, that the youth actually tried to take responsibility. It was spontaneous because nobody really thought this will happen. But now, if the youths have identified that there are certain things that were not done right by our leaders over the years, and they decided to cry out for those things to be corrected, they should also know that, that after a period of time, this agitation has taken its toll on the nation, that if we continue without giving the government the opportunity to redress some of these issues, that even the agitation itself will become counterproductive. So we believe that if you have made your demand, you wait and see if there's going to be actions taken based on those demands you've made. Because we could not know, or we didn't identify when to stop this agitation, that was why this particular agitation itself actually became somehow chaotic, and then those hoodlums and the opportunist youths that we around around the country took advantage of that very noble cause, you know, and then begin to maim the members of the society. So for me, I feel that when we are agitating, what are those issues? The issues of bad governance. And this bad governance has to do with the history of the leadership, starting from the independence up to today, because it's not just the past 5 years.
Today in Nigeria, we have newspapers, national newspapers, who are very patriotic in their reportage and all of that. On social media, for example, they are there. For example, you have Punch newspaper, you have This Day newspaper, you have Vanguard newspaper, you have the online platform, you know, Nige.com, you have Linda Ekeji. All of these platforms are those, for example, me, myself, I rely on. You know, when I was very full staff leadership, and now that I'm consulting for them, I rely on whatever they put on there. They don't just run to, the social media like some people do. Just rush to social media because something happened somewhere. They want to break the news. It's not about breaking the news. It's about breaking the right news. It's about breaking that news with the mindset of passing genuine information. That is it. Some people break the news to destroy things. They break the news to cause chaos. They break the news to, bring some kind of alarm and put fear in people. No, that's not what journalism is all about. You break the right news. You break the right news with all the, elements of fact, embedded in those news.
The theme for the workshop is The New Future for Nigeria. Emmanuel Onu, News 24 International.